Hey guys, another video for the food and eating playlist. This is possibly Japan's most famous bread shop. It's actually a chain. There's some outlets in Tokyo and a few others scattered around Japan. The name of the bread shop is Antique. Heart Bread Antique. Antique bread. So, okay, the place isn't famous for its English. A magical dish every day. It completes when witching it. You can eat special bread and sweets. Should be on the Japanglish playlist, shouldn't it? So yeah, it's not famous for its English, it's famous for its bread, and you'll see why. They've got some great stuff here. And it is very popular, so we're actually just outside the door and we're joining the queue for the cash register. So that line there goes right round the store to the cash register. So usual style, actually, I'm not sure if you have this in many other countries, but you can see here where we come in, there's trays. Everybody picks a tray and a pair of tongs, and you slowly walk around the room collecting what you want, and then at the end of it is your cash register. So it's a fairly standard layout for a bakery in Japan. So, yeah, compared to other countries, of course, bakeries aren't terribly common here. Being a rice, the main staple being rice, so bakeries aren't real common. They're sort of treated as a bit of a sweet or a bit of a special thing. So, right here at the entrance too, you've got the gift baskets. So, this is an interesting part of Japanese culture, is if you go to a place that's famous for something like this, and Japanese people are so into their food. You know, they have like food tourism here where people will travel very long distances in Japan to go to places just for the food. And I know people who've driven for 3 hours to go to a cake shop that's famous, or 3 hours to go to a fruit shop that's famous. And it's not unusual. It's not unusual that these guys just so into their food. Japanese television's dominated by shows about food. I don't know why, I don't really know why, but look at this, 3,300 yen, so it's about $40 for a box with some small cakes in it. So this is the deal when you do travel, or you do go to somewhere that's sort of special, sell some food that's sort of famous or special, you really have to buy a fair bit of it and take gifts for people. So, for example, if the next day you're going to work, if you're going to mention that you went to the antique bakery, you'd better have some samples with you, you know, one of those boxes with the cakes in it for $40. Or if you're going to see family after you've been here, if you're going to mention that you went to antique bakery, it's really appropriate that you take something with you. So something to remember if you come to Japan. If you do go to a place that's sort of famous for its food, if you're going to mention it to anybody later, you'd better make sure you've got some for them. So, and it better be the boxes. You can't really pick up the loose things here like you can for yourself. So you pick these up and put them on the tray, and then you can buy them at the cash register. But if you're going to take them for friends or for other people, you really need to go buy those gift boxes, the more expensive ones. So, yeah, it can get really expensive. And it's sort of part, I think I mentioned this in other videos before, you know, if you go to Hokkaido and Hokkaido is famous for particular food, or if you go to Okinawa and it's famous for particular food, and it's a different part of the year, a different part of the season, you have to make sure that you keep this in mind and buy whatever's in at the time and take it back for people. And they call it souvenir, they call it omiyage, which is souvenir, and it's souvenir food. We've covered this in a few different videos, but you know, it also counts for things like famous bakeries. So, sort of donuts the theme here, but those donuts there are actually made of like a custard, like a mousse, sort of like a mousse. That's why they're in the refrigerator. And those really big things that look like donuts that you saw a moment ago are really a bread that has chocolate in them and fruits and things. So those really big ones aren't really donuts, but the other small ones are. So good variety of tasty things here with sausage in them, and one of those seeds, poppy seeds, and there's some awesome stuff in this place. Really good. You can imagine the smell as well. The smell in this place is just fantastic. So it actually took us about 30 minutes to get from the front door to the cash register. And we hadn't eaten when we walked in the door, so 30 minutes of looking at this stuff and smelling it was a bit much, but have a look at that. That was yummy, I can tell you. I ate one of those. And when I'm finished making the video, I'm going to eat one of these. I actually have one of these. I'll be eating that in about 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Yeah, some awesome stuff there. Very, very nice. So expensive, guys. As you can see, look, 420 yen. It's about $5 for that long sausage bread thing. Really expensive, really, compared to other countries I've been to. Yeah, it is pretty expensive. And bread, and I think I've mentioned this on a video once before, that usually in a supermarket and places, usually you can only buy a straight white bread. That bread with seeds and more sort of interesting breads, a little bit rare in Japan. This place had a variety of breads, but a half a loaf was about, well, what's that one there, 400 yen for half a loaf and 800 yen for a whole loaf. There we are, 400 for half a loaf, 800 for a whole loaf. So it's about $10 for a loaf of bread. So yep. And people were paying it as fast as, that we were there for 30 minutes and everything was getting replaced. They were constantly bringing out new stuff to replace the stuff all these people were buying. So your very good business is the bakery business in Japan, because it's sort of a special thing. It's a bit sort of unique, a little bit sort of special. I had my hands full of bread at this stage, guys, so the camera's getting a bit wonky. But yeah, you had to show you the lights with the donuts. And here's the donuts. These are donuts. The ones on the top shelf here are actually made of ice cream, so they're refrigerated. But the ones below it are sort of more the normal donut. But you will notice that 6 donuts is, how much is that? 1,200 yen, so that's about $15 for 6 donuts. And 4 donuts is about 800 yen, so it's about $10 for 4 donuts. So, a bit sort of special. And again, gift packs there, right? So that the appropriate thing to do is for you to buy, if you go here, is to buy a box. If you're going somewhere, buy one of these gift boxes. Take it with you and give it to some people. Some tasty cake there. I hope you guys aren't hungry. That would be really difficult watching this video if you're hungry. Preservative jam, preserves jam. That's kakigori, that's shaved ice with a donut on top. Chocolate cake, very rich looking chocolate cake. So yeah, if you happen to notice antique, if you come to Japan and you happen to notice antique, go get some money from the ATM machine, bring a big wad of cash and come inside. And if you're hungry, you better bring a really big wad of cash, because it can really get out of hand. And then they actually have hamburgers, sort of thing. They're not your standard hamburger, as you'll see. Sorry guys, one hand with the camera, the other hand with a big tray full of bread. But sort of a pretty special sort of a hamburger. The bread's sort of a focaccia sort of thing, but I'll show you that a little bit closer in a second. But yeah, donuts is the theme, so everything in there is donuts. And away we go. There's some big fat guy with 2 tons of tasty stuff there. Shocking. And yeah, here's what they called a hamburger with avocado and tomato. And the bread's sort of a focaccia bread, the with the cheese, sort of cheese baked into it. but it was just ridiculously tasty. Anyway, hungry now, aren't we? More videos coming soon.